All right, welcome back. And we have the first lieutenant of the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Department. Blake Tabor is with us today, and good to see you, Lieutenant. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good. I know Mardi Gras is getting close, so a lot of people will be busy, but you do have some news of importance that we'd like to bring to the citizens out there, and can you give us a little insight on it?
Absolutely. So, again, this is going to be a narcotics arrest, pretty substantial arrest, something we're very proud of. Last Thursday on the 25th around 8:30, some members of our Terrebonne Parish Narcotics Division were doing some proactive patrols in the area of Morningside Drive and Sunset Avenue when they came across a vehicle that was making some traffic violations. So, of course, they gained unit placement behind that particular vehicle. Ultimately, the vehicle came to rest in the 1200 block of Lafayette Street, very close proximity to a business in that area. Where as the vehicle was coming to a stop, the narcotics division noticed that the driver's door was opening prior to the vehicle coming to a complete stop. So for those of us in law enforcement, we know what's about to happen next. Ultimately, that did happen where the driver bailed from that vehicle and they engaged in a foot pursuit. It wasn't very long before he was taken into custody. Matter of fact, he was taken into custody in the 1300 block of Lafayette Street just a short time later. Ultimately, he was identified as a Julius Coleman Sr. He's a 39-year-old male from Houma. You see him photographed here. At the time of the initial contact with him, they did quickly discover that he was in possession of some crack cocaine on his person. As a result of that and some other factors, that led to a search of the vehicle. And of course, we got lucky in that search where we recovered a pretty substantial amount of marijuana and also multiple types of prescription-based pills. We're not revealing what type of medication it was, but it was definitely more than 3 different types of prescription-based pills. So ultimately, he was arrested on some traffic violations in addition to possession with intent to distribute a CDS-1, 2 counts of that. Possession with intent to distribute CDS-2, 2 counts. Possession with the intent to distribute a CDS-4. Possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer by flight. Some of that drug paraphernalia consisted of a digital scale, which, again, is an indicator of what direction that particular investigation may be going. So he's ultimately remains jailed on a $70,000 bond.
So let me ask you this, because y'all caught him in a block. That's pretty good.
Our narcotics division are very fit and they're very ready to run. So
Yeah, I hear they've been doing a lot of working out, and is that sort of a new age prerequisite? But most law enforcement stay in pretty good shape. But when I noticed he was caught in a block, I'm saying that's pretty good.
you have to. And look, a lot of these guys are used to this type of activity. So again, when you're in a job field where this is fairly common, of course, you're going to do the things and train the way that you need to in order to make sure that you can do the job the best way.
Yeah. Any dogs involved in this too?
No canines. This was strictly a person-on-person apprehension, which makes it even
that's really
much more
good.
impressive.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
really good. So are you finding, Lieutenant, that I know y'all work super hard. I rode with you on the beat many times. We go way back to the beat, but are you finding that there's an escalation because of the population that are here and they're new to the area? Are you finding out that you're making a pretty good dent in it?
Yeah, I mean, we're very proud of the dent that we're putting in. Of course, when it comes to drug activity, we know that even a small dent is not a good enough dent. So, we feel very positive that we're making a big impact, but there's always room for improvement, obviously.
Yeah. And obviously y'all have seen the different arenas of drugs. When me and you were riding around way back in the day, crack cocaine was a hot item.
Absolutely.
Now, we saw movies about heroin where we thought, oh, that'll never happen in Terrebonne Parish, but we were all wrong, I guess.
Absolutely, it happens. And, and again, with fentanyl, that's been the hot topic when it comes to drugs. And as a matter of fact, I was just reading yesterday where 2 officers overdosed in a certain part of the country just from doing an investigative stop where they breathe in that particular fentanyl inadvertently. and they were actually had to, be given Narcan to bring them back to life by other officers. So this is not something that we play with. This is something that not only our agents, but everyone within our agency is trained on the use of Narcan. But they have to take this very seriously because there is an absolute danger to their life.
Yeah, and of course, Narcan was introduced, and I remember at one point there was a shortage of it, but that's well beyond us. Y'all readily have it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We have enough to take care of ourselves and the general public. But again, this is something that we see spikes in and ebbs and flows. So we're keeping our finger on it and doing the best we can.
What are y'all doing with the younger community when you're going in? I know you have young children. I'm sure you come in contact with their friends, and y'all go to schools. I'll see you at many of the schools for football games. What advice do you give the young children?
It's just about making sure that you're choosing the right friends, right? Mm-hmm. And the other important thing is, and this is something that I tell my kids all the time, don't be afraid to say something to the adults. It's not about being a snitch, or it's not about being a tattletale. It's about doing the right thing. And, there was a time where we always urged our youth to do the right thing. And maybe that is somehow skewed nowadays because of social media and various other social-related topics. But it's always a good idea to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
All right, Lieutenant Blake Tabor, keep up the great work. Tell the sheriff hello. Sure. We'll see you for Mardi Gras.
Yes, sir.
We'll clap for you as you pass by.
I appreciate that.
All right, Lieutenant Blake Tabor, we'll be back with more right here on Bayou Time. Don't go away.